Saturday. Music all day Saturday.
This is Edwin Bailey, Bulldog Blue.
Jazz from the cabinets.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Start time.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pierce. This is Start Time.
Saturdays, all music, all day. Reggae Hour. K-Fox Night.
Looking for the perfect beat? Yeah, it's the beat of the Fox.
Fresh Juice with D-Money in the group.
Myself, D-Money.
Nice Size Patron.
Taylor Hart.
This is Spencia, the Northwest Rap Gang.
DJ Medina. Chad Cheddar. Northwest Rap Game.
Sergio Lacour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking.
Sea Monster Radio. Mo Jams is your jam.
We're live. Welcome to Moji on Mondays. This is KZ of KZ Music Media. Caller Goddess for Moji on Mondays.
Just my opinion. God is inspiration all day and all night. Saturdays on Rainier Avenue Radio App. All of us have struggled through the COVID-19 pandemic, and many of our communities have been particularly hard hit. Some things definitely need to change, but a few things should stay the same, like protecting your child from serious diseases you can prevent now. Preventable diseases like measles, mumps, and whooping cough. Is camp, childcare, or in-person school on your family's agenda? Give your child a healthy and safe summer and school year by making sure they're up to date on vaccinations and well child visits. You have the power to protect. Call your healthcare provider to find out what vaccinations your child is due for and make an appointment today. If you need help finding a provider, visit parenthelp123.org or call the Help Me Grow Washington hotline at 1-800-322-2588. An interpretation is available.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world is your 24/7 digital media hub. Tune in at Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and TuneIn apps.
Hey, oh. Hi, it's Happy Friday. This is Brenda Charles-Edwards, the host of Seniors Matter. We are live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on www.rainieravenueradio.world, your community radio station. You can also listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, and of course, the Rainier Avenue Radio app and Twitter. We feature interviews with people that provide services or have valuable information for seniors, their families, and the community. Do you need financial documents notarized? Are you a senior that needs documents read to you for clarity or completion? Call me, Brenda, at Black Orchid Notary, 206-683-2636. Tell me where, I'll meet you there. This March, we are celebrating Women's History Month. Today, my guest is the Executive and Artistic Director of New Black Arts West Theater, the oldest African-American theater company in Washington State. I've known her for a long time, and please welcome Miss Kibibi Monie. Hey, Kibibi.
Hello. I'm so honored to be here.
I am so glad to have you here. It was so good running into you last weekend, as always. And, you just have so much spark and energy. It makes me bounce up.
Thank you.
So, as a native of Seattle, what was it like growing up in Seattle for you? And what schools did you attend?
Well, I attended Bailey Gatzard, Washington, Garfield, Central area. I've had such a tremendous educational. I have been to Evergreen State. I have a master's at Seattle University, and I was one of the kids from the esoterics that wasn't even going to graduate high school, because I was in everything. The only child, and I wanted to see what was what in the world.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. So I know many people have misspelled your name. So would you spell your name and tell my audience what it means?
I will. My name is Kibibi Monie. Now, that's not my birth name. I want to give you both my names, actually. Carolyn Porter is the name that you knew, Brenda, when we were growing up.
Right.
And since then, I was the president of AFTRA, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. And when you sign up to be a talent for the union, they, want you to change your name. And because they don't have anyone that has the same name in the union. So I always loved the name Kibibi, and it was an opportunity for me to kind of rename myself. So I chose Kibibi, which means little lady in Kiswahili, because I was into Africa, and always have been into, our continent. And that was an opportunity for me to legally change my name and be proud of my heritage.
And spell it, please.
Kibibi is Kibibi, and my last name is Monie, spelled Monie, and there's an accent over the E.
Perfect. Beautiful. I just love this story.
Thank you.
So, as I told my audience earlier, you are the executive director, and you are the executive and artistic director of New Black Arts West Theater. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in the hood, and when it was Black Arts West on 34th and Union, that had all the wonderful plays. That's where everybody went.
That's right.
And so now it's called New Black Arts West Theater. And what does that mean to you?
It means a continuation of the original Black Arts West Theater. I didn't even know we had a theater, and I've always been an actress, even though not necessarily professionally. But I wrote my first play when I was 9 years old, directed it, choreographed it. I've just always been into the arts. So when I found out about Black Arts West Theater, I immediately joined and became one of the resident artists, which would act in a lot of the plays. I was also privileged to be the drama instructor for the youth, for the kids there. And I was just in heaven. I was always an actress anyway. I mean, I would spend hours and hours and hours. I'm an only child, so I played with myself.
I understand. I was one for the first 10 years.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, I was one all my life, and so theater and especially movies really pulled me in. When I saw Judy Garland on The Wiz, The Wizard of Oz. Oh, I said, I want to do that. I want to be that. That's who I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So, it's always been in me. So when I found out about Black Arts West Theater, I was in heaven. And fortunately, I was there till we transitioned. And I say transitioned into New Black Arts West Theater because Douglas Barnett, the founder of Black Arts West Theater, he and T. Denard pulled me under their wing because they saw my passion. They saw my eagerness. They saw my love for the arts. And so they tutored me and groomed me, through my whole career in acting. And so it was just, and like I said earlier, the reason I changed my name to Kibibi is because I've always been Black to the bone. I couldn't understand why there was a separation between cultures. I thought, to be in a particular culture is an honor. It's been real. I was blessed to be able to be in the arts all my life.
Well, you are definitely very accomplished. In fact, you are the first African-American to be president of the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or AFTRA as we know it as, for Washington, Tri-Cities, and Oregon.
That's
right.
What
was that experience like?
Whew.
Yeah, really.
Let me tell you how it happened even. I hope we have enough time for these little stories. I became became a member. And then Linda Kennedy, she was on the board of AFTRA, and she was the only Black person on the board. And she said, Kibibi, you should, get on the board of AFTRA. And I said, well, thinking, oh yeah, okay, sure. They're going to really, let me be on the board. But they did. And they welcomed me, with open arms. So now, okay, Latera's kid, from the projects is on the board of AFTRA, the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Wow, what an honor, And then the president at the time was having difficulties, so they needed to replace that particular president for another president. So I'm sitting there, newest person. This was actually my first board ever being on, period. I'm sitting there, and they said, okay, we're going to have to replace, our past president with a president, who, which one of us? And I, with my crazy self, I said, I'll do it, hey. And so they sent me out of the room and, did an interview about me and blah, 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 blah. I came back in and they said, Madam President, share your meeting. Madam President, share your meeting. And it was like, inside, girl, I was hallelujahing. And my God, is this real? I was cool as a cucumber, I said.
I know you were.
but it almost wasn't me because I hadn't been in a position like that. I mean, yes, I had, been working with Black Arts West Theater. I was on the original Black Arts Theater staff before we went on hiatus. At least that's what I call it. Some might say we folded, but we didn't. We went on hiatus. So this was my first time. I mean, other than being the marketing director for Black Arts West Theater before we folded, I had never been in a real large leadership role like that. I had, started new Black Arts West Theater already, but it's still, again, it was a community theater. I'm dealing with people I know and love, not, a body of people that are in the states. I mean, the states that you mentioned, and just the role itself. And they said, Madam President, chair your meeting. And I said, okay, next on the agenda is, girl, you would have thought, but inside my body, girl, the whole time I was praying. Me and God was having a conversation, in the midst of it all.
Right.
So yeah, that I've always, been blessed to have a God that has led me in, in the right directions, in what was in my heart.
Yes.
I wasn't a great kid. I did some crazy, stupid things that kids do, but I was always guided by God. When I wasn't, out there being stupid, I would always be pulled back. Come on now, you know better. Well, come on now, I have other plans for you than this or that or that or this. So that's what my life has been in the arts.
So Kibibi, next Friday at 6 p.m., I am taking a writing class from Dr. Georgia S. McDade of the African American Writers Alliance, which I know you're also a member of.
Yes.
And I'm really excited because I've always wanted to write. And, I've written little things, but nothing that I would even dream of publishing. But there was a time when I did want to publish a little booklet or something on my experiences of being a flight attendant. Mm-hmm. I think I've gotten over that one, but I just would like some formal writing experience. So Dr. McDade is having this workshop through Mount Zion Baptist Church's Women's celebration, in fact, 80th year celebration. So it's next Friday night, the 11th at 6 o'clock, and then again on the 25th. So I'm excited about attending this and see. Yeah. I was in not a play. I was in a movie once as an extra many years ago. It was about John F. Kennedy. And so that was interesting to me. And I've always kind of had my fingers a little bit into something because I even did modeling at one time. But now I have my own show. So I guess I am kind of into this. Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to love working with Georgia too.
Oh, I know. I love Georgia.
Yes, she's a loving, giving woman.
Yes, she is very much so.
Really. I feel so, again, honored and privileged to be working with AWA, the African American Writers Alliance. I've always been a writer as well. Like I said, I was 9 when I wrote my first play and directed and blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't really, and I've written some plays that New Black Arts West Theater has performed, and I've written poems and blah, blah, blah. But working with a group of Black writers I'm in heaven. I feel like I'm in heaven. I'm getting older. So New Black Arts West Theater is becoming a challenge, a real challenge for me. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for the next generation to take it over rather than letting it dissolve. Take it over. We have an extensive history, from going to North Carolina and performing at the National Black Theater Festival, going to Ghana, West Africa, and performing in the Panafest Festival. I mean, on and on. We've got a good track record. So it would be a good send off for the next, hopefully, younger generation to take it over and take it to its next. We had August Wilson as on our board of directors. Ruby Dee was on our board of directors. Ben Vereen has come and done performances with New Black Arts West Theater. I mean, on and on. There are just so many prominent people, as well as community people, that have worked with the original Black Arts West Theater and New Black Arts West Theater. And I'm hoping that someone that has that passion and has that drive and has that love for theater, especially Black theater, will come on aboard, because I'd like to, spend more time writing now. I'd like to spend more time doing things outside of the theater. I want to get into films more now. And I mean, including producing, writing, and directing film. I've, done a little bit of that. I attended the New York Film Academy. So that's what, kind of got me into really wanting to be serious about film. It's by the grace of our God, I have been able to do what God put me here to do and be. And that's a helpmate to those who need help. As a matter of fact, New Black Arts West Theater is over 20 years old, and we have never charged a person for our classes, for our, now when we go into schools and do plays and stuff, then that is how my cast is paid. But we've been doing what we do for the community for free, because I know the importance of theater. I know the importance of the arts, period. We as Black people, that's our beat. That's our pulse. That's what keeps us alive. That's what entertaining and being entertained is something we as a people have always been a part of. And it's been such an honor and a pleasure and a gift to me from God that I was allowed to be what I wanted to be. And that was an actor and a teacher.
So Kibibi, on that note, could you tell people how to get in touch with you if they are interested in being a part of New Black Arts West?
Yes. I can put it in the chat, or I can just say NU Black at ISOmedia, ISOmedia.com is my email address. That's NUBlack at ISOmedia.com. Shoot me an email, and I'll get back with you and we'll take it from there. I don't know if you need training or if you just need a platform to perform in, or just hit me up and I'll try to do as much as I can. Like I was given by T. Denard and Douglas Barnett the opportunity to continue with what I love and I'm passionate about. I want to give as many people as I can that same opportunity.
So Kibibi, my producer just put it on the screen. So the phone number is 206-778-2379. Email is NUBLACK at ISOmedia, media.com. And yes. You guys, you definitely, if you're interested in pursuing your talents, you need to connect with Kibibi because she's wonderful. And speaking about plays, Miss Kibibi, you received an invitation to showcase your original play written by you called Home is Where the Heart Is.
Yes.
And this was produced at the PNMC Festival. What is that?
It's a play about a homeless community. A homeless community that each year, either Black History Month or Martin Luther King's birthday, this homeless community would have a talent show, we'll say, where they come together, their community comes together and they entertain for each other, because some of the homeless people were entertainers, or just they would have a chance to celebrate as a community. Well, the stories that are told in Home is Where the Heart Is, or it's got two titles, Home is Where the Heart Is, or Christmas is All Up in the Soul. Both plays being about a homeless community celebrating that particular holiday. These were stories that when I wrote this, I spoke with homeless people and asked them, what's it like? Blah, 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 blah. And I took those stories and put them and highlighted them in the play so that people would know you could be homeless tomorrow. There's no guarantee that you're going to, get that paycheck they tell their stories so you can see the human side of it. And as they're telling that story that is, so sorrowful, they're also telling you that this is my home. This is what has become my home. These are my neighbors. We look out for each other. We take care of each other. It's not all about drugs all the time, y'all. It's not all about, the ugliness of homelessness. It's about having to deal with homelessness, but still having a heart, still, having value to yourself and for yourself because of the stories that are being told, sleeping in your car and your children. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
But when they have still, through all that hardship and heartbreakingness, they found each other to help each other get through it. So that's what those two plays are about.
Wonderful. And I've seen some of your plays, and you do such fantastic work. I tell you, to me, when the audience looks at your plays, you feel like you're right there on stage with them.
Oh, good. All right. Good.
But
good.
Very few people can say they've had the pleasure and honor of working with such greats as Stevie Wonder, Billy Preston, Kenny G, Gladys Knight and the Pips, and countless other famed entertainers. But Kibibi can. What was that experience like?
Girl, I was a young teenager into my 20s when that happened. Wow, girl. I mean, all of us, from Leonard Rhodes to Herman Brown, all of us young, I would say kids, because we were either in high school or just getting out of. Wow. It was a dream come true to be on the stage with all those, stars. The Motown review came through there. We sang background for, oh, doggone it, I can't remember his name, but
Oh,
Dicky's Monkey.
Yes.
I can't, for whatever reason, I can't remember his name right there. I should really be ashamed of myself. But being on the stage with those stars gave us our beginning. That was, when you take the horn section or the rhythm section from the Dave Lewis Orchestra and you put them in, to back up all the stars that used to come here. And some of them, a lot of them didn't read, but we were so good as musicians and vocalists that, our ear was killer.
Yes.
And we had each other, helping each other, perfect those. We were so blessed as children to have had the mentors that have come here, from Quincy to Jimi Hendrix even being here. I performed with him and on and on. We were really supported in the arts when we were young. So that was a thrill, an honor, and a blessing that we were given as, young kids.
So I do have to ask this one particular one.
Okay.
Gladys Knight and the Pips. Someone very close to me is just enthralled with that group. What was it like working with her and the Pips?
And it wasn't necessarily working with because, we sang with them, but we were just singing with them to be singing with them. But we opened for them at the Paramount. I sat in with them at, come on, brain. I believe I'm getting old. It was the Cotton Club, but it wasn't a formal gig. It was just same thing with Billy Preston. When I sang with Billy Preston, it was at the Black and Tan.
Oh my gosh!
During the performance, I went down to the Black and Tan because a friend of mine had a crush on him, and he had you invited her. And anyway,
yeah, I know.
so that was why I got the opportunity to sing with Billy Preston, because it was right there at the Black and Tan, and it was a rehearsal time anyway. So it was like, oh, you say, come on, girl. So same thing with Hank Crawford. I was at Latif's. I was at Latif's on Rainier, and he was performing there. And someone said, "Oh, she can sing," and he said, "Oh, come on up, girl."
And you were so shy, weren't you?
No, I wasn't. But yes, actually, I'm a very shy person. I really am. But what breaks that shyness is performing, because I take on that which is, be it
right,
talking or telling a story, then I become part of the story. Back to when I was a kid, when I would watch Roy Rogers and Dale Evans,
oh gosh,
and their horse,
yes.
I would after watching it go into my bedroom, because again I'm an only child, and I would by myself. I would be the horse, I would be Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, the bad guy, the good guy, the sheriff, the plant that grew, the tree that we were hung from, on and on. I would become it. It was who and what I was. I would study it so I could interpret it to others, so they could see what I saw through my eyes.
Right. I love it. So how did it feel being given permission by the Pulitzer Prize winner August Wilson to portray Hambone, the lead character in his award-winning play Two Trains Running? Wow.
No, that's not quite how that story goes.
Oh, no?
No. I am the only woman on the planet that has directed August Wilson.
Oh.
In a play that he wrote when he was in school. I believe a college project. He wrote a play called Homecoming. Not Two Trains Running.
Oh, okay.
Homecoming was a play that he wrote. That was the first, I believe, one of the first plays he wrote.
But school. Even so,
I got to direct him in the reading of this play that he wrote at Act Theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Act Theater. Act Theater gave us a year to perform before we got our own theater. Gave us a year to perform at Act Theater, free, to help us get started.
Oh, and that's amazing.
As New Black Arts West Theater. And August Wilson saw me do something at a reading, and he said, "Ooh, I like her." He said, "I'm going to write her a play." This is a true story. God is my witness. Ask God if I'm not telling the truth. So anyway, that's how he and I got to know each other, because he came to a play, a reading, that I was one of the characters in, and he appreciated my performance so that was what started our relationship as theater people, I guess you would say. As he was a great asset to help us form, because that was when we got our first building. Before that, we were performing at either ACT or Langston Hughes. We didn't have our own place. He supported us in that. That was a fundraiser for New Black Arts West Theater that he performed for us at ACT Theater. Then he became an advisor of our board, to help us get started. I've had the most exciting life it's amazing. It's amazing. I have Maya Angelou's cane that was given to me by Dr. Mims, who was Maya's best friend.
Right. I know.
My life has been, I can't wait till I really sit down and write and maybe have someone film my life, because you wouldn't believe it. From being a bad behind kid, because I thought I was tough. I thought I was all that. And can't nobody tell me what to do and blah, blah, blah. That madness that you go through as a child.
Right. So, Kibibi,
yes, ma'am.
You're going to have to come back because I'm out of time.
Okay. I got some stories for you.
I know you do. And we will pick up on that when you come back. I want to thank my listening audience for tuning in once again to Seniors Matter on RainierAvenueRadio.world. Check us out on Facebook and all the other social medias. Thank you, Kibibi. She is the executive and artistic director of New Black Arts West Theater, the oldest African-American theater company in Washington State. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Live your life like it's golden. The coronavirus special edition is next. Bye-bye, Kibibi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bye, hon.
Bye, baby.